She sat quietly on the bus that evening, unaware that the moment she was living would echo across the world, and across generations. Rosa Parks was a woman of calm strength, a seamstress returning from another long day of work, her hands tired, her feet aching, her heart heavy with the weight of a life lived under rules that sought to break the spirit of people like her. She knew the reality of the world. She lived in a world where dignity was denied, where laws were used as weapons, and where the color of her skin dictated where she could sit, where she could stand, and how she could exist. The bus rattled down the street of Montgomery, Alabama, the humid air heavy with the tension that had lingered for decades. Rosa knew these seats all too well. She knew the front was reserved where she was not allowed, and she knew the back, which was often crowded, forcing black riders to stand while empty seats waited in front of them like silent reminders of inequality. But today she settled into a seat in the section where black passengers were permitted to sit, a small breath of ease after a long day. Yet the laws of segregation were not content with lines drawn on the floor. They were designed to shrink a person's sense of worth, to shape them into something smaller, something quieter, something less human. And as the bus continued its journey, the white section began to fill. The driver noticed this, and with a voice that carried authority built on injustice, he demanded that the black passengers in Rosa's row stand to make room for white passengers. Rosa remained seated, her quiet breath steady, her resolve unshaken. In that moment the world held its breath. The bus paused, suspended between the weight of the past and the possibility of the future. She was not acting out of anger. She was not seeking conflict. She was tired of giving in, tired of stepping aside, tired of watching dignity be taken from people who deserved better. She simply stayed, where she was offering no apology, no excuse, only a stillness that carried more power than any raised voice could. The driver approached her with frustration burning in his eyes and told her again to stand, but Rosa Parks looked ahead with a calm that came from a lifetime of endurance and said simply no. That one word carried the force of centuries. That one word echoed through the air like a quiet thunderstorm that refused to be ignored. The bus fell silent. Passengers looked on, unable to comprehend how such a small resistance could feel so monumental. She was arrested, her hands placed in cuffs, as if the simple act of sitting could be a crime. But the real crime was the injustice. She faced the system that had been built to keep people like her silent and small. Her walk into the police station was slow, but not defeated, her eyes steady, her spirit unbroken. She knew the consequences, she knew the risks, yet she carried the weight of her decision with grace, knowing that her act of resistance was not only for herself, but for everyone who lived under the same shadow. News of her arrest spread through the community, rippling through Montgomery like a rising tide. Ministers, leaders, neighbors, mothers, fathers, young people, old people, they felt something shift inside them. They felt courage stir, they felt hope spark, they felt that maybe, just maybe, this small act could become something larger, something unstoppable. Within days, the Montgomery bus boycott began, a movement born not from rage, but from unity and quiet determination. People walked miles to work every day, refusing to step onto a bus that upheld injustice. They endured rain, cold, and exhaustion, yet they walked with their heads high and their hearts filled with purpose. They gave up comfort to reclaim dignity. They stood together in the face of threats, arrests, violence, and fear. The buses ran nearly empty, each empty seat a symbol of resistance, each step taken by the boycotters a declaration that change was coming, one stride at a time. Rosa watched this movement unfold with humility. She never sought to become a symbol. She never imagined her quiet act would ignite such a powerful wave. She was simply a woman who decided enough was enough, and her courage awakened the courage of thousands. She became the spark that illuminated the path forward, the soft, steady flame that burned through the darkness of inequality. Leaders, like Martin Luther King Jr., rose to join the cause, yet Rosa remained at the heart of the story, a reminder that even the quietest among us can awaken the sleeping power of a people determined to be free. The boycott lasted for more than a year of walking, a year of standing strong, a year of refusing to give in. And when the Supreme Court finally ruled that bus segregation was unconstitutional, a quiet victory rippled through the nation. It was not a victory born of violence or hatred, it was a victory born from persistence, from dignity, from the unshakable belief that all people deserve equality and respect. Rosa Parks continued her journey long after that day. She worked tirelessly for civil rights, spoke across the country, encouraged young people to lift their voices, and reminded everyone that change begins with a single act, a single moment of courage. She lived with grace and humility, never viewing herself as extraordinary, yet the world saw her for what she truly was, a beacon of quiet strength, a testament to the power of standing firm when the world pushes you down. Her life teaches us that bravery does not always roar, sometimes bravery sits quietly and refuses to move, sometimes bravery is a soft no spoken into the face of injustice, sometimes bravery is found in the smallest actions that carry the greatest meaning. She showed that one person can challenge the weight of a broken system, that one steady voice can break the echo of oppression, that one calm soul can shake the foundations of inequality. Today her story continues to live in classrooms, in books, in memorials, and in the hearts of people who draw courage from her example. Children learn about the woman who refused to give up her seat and discover the strength that can come from standing up for what is right. People of every age, every color, every background look to her story and see a reflection of what is possible when dignity and determination come together. Rosa Parks remains a symbol not because she sought fame, but because she sought justice. She remains an icon not because she wanted the spotlight, but because she wanted equality. She remains an inspiration because she reminds us that the world changes not only through grand gestures, but through the quiet choices we make every day. She reminds us that courage lives within us, that hope lives within us, that the power to change the world is not reserved for the mighty, but belongs to each one of us who dares to believe that things can be better. Her legacy lives on in every person who chooses to do what is right even when it is difficult, in every voice that rises against injustice, in every step taken toward equality, in every dream of a world where dignity is not a privilege, but a right. Her story continues to move through time like a river, strong, persistent, unstoppable, carrying with it the truth that progress is possible, that change is inevitable, and that the courage of one woman can become the courage of millions.